Hello, hello, hello. This is Mohammed Shilon coming to you for Voice of Salone, United States, North Carolina, or North Carolina, United States of America. Uh, Happy Sunday. As usual, I'm back again. So we will discuss issues of interest and allowing everybody for calling, sending comments, and let we exchange views and ideas. So normally we can get a lot of topics we want to talk about. But before I announce the topics, I want for also wishing all well today, the 30th of October, tomorrow being the end of the month. We are very fastly approaching the end of the year because a couple of days from now we'll be in November, the second to last month of the year. So just to remind everybody, of course, we're there on this part of the world. Unlike back home, the season, the change, we're getting closer and closer to the cold season. Then with time zone, we get the various time zones then there. So with time the change too. For we're waiting at the west coast of the United States, we'll go begin forget 5 hours difference between with time and Salone time. Now in 4 hours. We'll begin forget 5 hours difference. So everything the change in this part of the world as far as weather and seasons are concerned. So I just want to pass that by way of information. The other things that we normally I can try for Guinea, now this information about the site them for call or the numbers them for call. The reason being, say this is not a live show. So what normally can happen, we want to give people in the ability for call and express their views as things are happening or live. So I will give their numbers and they very soon for making I know where to call. Well, they operate on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and so on. So I would like for making get a number in there. All right. Some of the numbers then starting with this toll-free number. Now 1-866-944-7722. 9-866-944. 1-866-944-7722. I repeat, 1-866-944-7722. If you call from the United Kingdom, you will call +44 20 80 89 1455. Again, plus the sign plus 44 20 80 89 1455. If you call from Australia, now plus 61 29 09 84 337. Again, from Australia, now plus 61 29 09 84 337. And last but not least, if you call on WhatsApp, now 1-343-997-5828. 1-343-997-5828. These are one of the many ways then for reach we as the program to go on. Again, like I tell you now, some people can follow we on Facebook, some people that follow we on Instagram, all of that. They also they're available for now. Another thing I want to bring to our attention, I have a co-host, but she is unlikely to appear today because she's not feeling too well. But so I just make una all join me for wishing well, and I hope that she recovers very quickly and or very soon. Now, again, as usual, we always get several topics what we go on for discuss because things are happening. This is not the age of social media. So technically speaking, everybody around the world now is a reporter, is a news person. Because when you see something we catch your interest, even for somebody in the most remote parts in a Salone, he go take picture of what you see, and the advantage about social media now for shape or pass around what you see, so other people can go see them. And God bless social media because there are things happening in the world that people share. He had for believe say the thing that they happen, from good things to horrible things. Then it was not long ago, and I think we played that video there, but in Ghana, this man, we don't know whatever in Pekin do. This Pekin was less than 2 years old. Small Pekin. We don't know what that Pekin they do. But the man hold and pick him by one hand. They pelt him severely. And even when he put the Pekin down, the man will assume say or presume say na papa continue to forbid the Pekin in a merciless way. So if somebody tell you say a person takes something to beat a less than 2-year-old Pekin seriously, you go wonder, because that Pekin don't even get sense for know about his existence, let alone for punish him for let realize what he do wrong. But we know say that this part of the world, then say when you do that to Pekin, you might destroy in sense of security psychologically. Because the people who protect her and that against anything else. But if they turn on them, you go make the Pekin in world get very confused and confusing as to who that for being protector. But anyway, the point is somebody sent that video there viral, and we all get them. And somebody was able to tag on to that, say, please, if we know side this thing happened, we let we know. Then immediately it was pinned down to a place in Ghana, and they arrest the man. So social media and one of the miracles them in our lifetime, because a lot of times there was a time when things they change so fast. But now social media, they expose even if you not go for sit down in a classroom, we know say social media, they make you see things and you read things we not before know and see and you read if social media not exists. So a lot of people are getting it. So if you get something where you're thinking of interest, where newsworthy, where you need for share with other people worldwide, not thinking a waste of time, take a picture like that was we take a picture of this man beating this small Pekin, where it might be the Pekin in mama. But somebody be there will take a video of what may happen. And so now one of the things that so you can able for prevent bad things them happening to people just because of that little telephone the way you get in your hand, where it's also a camera and it's also a computer. That little telephone is not the advancement down there, but this little telephone with the passwords. A computer, a typewriter, now everything. Camera, they do wonders for we. So with that in mind, I want for just again indicate the topics that we'll deal with today. One of the main topics that we'll get for deal with. Well, let me just list down the topics that we'll deal with. Today, we see a lot of videos them where they come. We don't know how many of them want to the person and they fake, or how many of them video then they will go play. We will play about 2-3 of them for see how ordinary people in a treat a Salone, Sierra Leone, particularly in the Freetown area, whatever then they take in terms of drugs or liquor, they affect them so bad that it even affects the then physical faculty, meaning that the mental faculty is one thing where you appear drunk, you don't know, you did. You know, that now one affect your mental faculty. But the physical faculty, in a way, even when you know, you did, you're not able to move. You can't grab, you can't walk out. Some man, they don't grown, thinking in a fish, you want to swim in a dry ground. This is the effect where we see this drug to get. And we need for encourage the government for pay particular attention to the thing and try for do public relations service on the radio and TV, warning people them against that. And one of the dangers them, where people are not realize, people are where they take them harmful substances, then when they ingest them, or when they eat them, or when they drink them, or when they sniff them, whichever way they take them into their body, you know, not only they unbog them. I can try for avoid this English word for say affect, but not only they unbog them inside, not only they unbog them at the head, but then same people and them, man or woman, or when they get picking, or when they engage in any sexual activity, if somebody gets pregnant in the process, because that thing and that person they in stream, it affect that baby day, or it unbog that baby day way born. So this go right back. So some picking born, it get abnormal way of not physically how it look, but sometimes when that picking they begin do strange things. Me and you go begin for Georgia for say, hey, not to good, na good home come out, not to that kind picking day, but we not realize say in mama or papa they use then destructive drugs there. We don't go na the mommy in bloodstream, we don't go to the Pekin. Where now that Pekin they can't help himself because you know they think normally and behave normally like me and you. So, but people are not going to know that generally, and that make we get government. So not always we get for talk about corruption. There are a lot of things I can always say. Running government and serious business. I don't know to what extent. I know say the people where they run for Guna government, I can always say. Then they run for Guna government for the money, for the fame, but above all for the fortune, because it will make them gentry quick. But if you really want Guna government for serve, there is so much to be done that now like if you're not a swimmer, you fall down at the ocean. You go swim till where you associate above the water, you will see nothing past water. Like for say you not be to swim. This is how serious the job for government is. You know, there's so much to be done. You go only scratch the surface. Now I can know the one that will not know much about government when they can and begin promise then lofty things them. You know, lofty things meaning I go change this. I go make people that will work out 2 foot begin work out on the head. I go make people that will get 2 hand, get 5 hand. You know, it's easy for say, like Englishman can say, or American man can say, talk is cheap. And but if you know something about government, you go kele, you go be careful what you just say. If you mean you go be careful because you could not say you're not going able to do everything. But the one thing away you could do, you can stand by them and point out that you don't benefit society. The way you meet them, you don't improve them. You know? Nobody know the kind of government and change everything. Now, then thing that we need for understand what we want people them. Because even right now, you get people in the talk about SAPP. Well, you know, they don't count 3 years or 4 years, they don't do nothing. Well, for government for do something, they want to begin for see the benefits, if any benefits. It will take more than 3 years. So now one of the deceits then this now. So the one the way they come the power the full way. They make when I think say just give with that power anymore. We go change when our life when I not go believe. Then after 1 year, 2 years, when I begin to get frustrated because when our life not the same, in fact worse. Because the one that with the kind of power, The first order of business now for full them pockets with money, with opportunities. Now for break down the legal system, so you're not going to be able to take them to court and win. And so now then first order of business down. By the time they come to you, the poor man, tender rich for them for come out. Then another hungry set come, or angry set, the one that with them belly empty, they're not there out in the cold all this time. Then self begin for load up. So now feel say any government will come, even when they talk about military governments, them that is even the worst one. Because when they come, now decree then use by, then they live by the power. Okay? So there is no interaction with the people within the rule. Now what them feel? They're not to get opposition. They're not to get anybody who disagree with them. So we always say, oh, that could be no, when they self can I make them always they fail. I make them they fail. Now one of the reasons that not to that make no more than they fail. Because then self want to take over government, they don't understand the implications or the difficulty for run government. So this social media thing, they do a lot for we. But if the control room can play something for me, or before that, make I just point out the rest of the issues then we'll get for deal with. Besides the drug business, what would you see? Would you see a situation whereby there is this talk about proportional representation, meaning the election they can next year. There was a time where they say everything, the election, the election could be based on constituency-based election, not by constituency. Constituency 1, 2, 3, 4, East 1, East 2, East whatever they call them. But now, recently, we hear say the Electoral Commissioner announced the presidency now proportional representation now it will be based on. So there is this big argument what it take place now when the boss down there of the country. Some people and they say the president don't get the power for even tell the Electoral Commissioner for change the method or the system of voting. Some people and they argue say the president get the power for do that. Now within in power for tell the Electoral Commissioner how we want the election for go. Then some people and they say it's illegal. Then you get people and where they say no, it's not illegal. The members of parliament they not do their homework. It didn't have the constitution. It didn't have the bill where them pass. Where authorizes proportional representation. And so. And I will give you some references. Some people away don't make some good arguments about that. First and foremost, the opposition leader, Mr. Cherno Ba, Cherry Coco, as he's commonly known, he raised an issue. Dr. Yumkela also raised an issue with respect to that, but in your way of going about it, some people then say that's the appropriate way of going about it by calling on the speaker to set up something to look into that. Then you get Sylvia Blyden. And bear in mind now, I pick and choose with respect to some of the people I refer to, not because men are great admirers, but in the interest of the country. When people and even people and where generally they agree with, if they say something sensible, it's good for point people them. So some of them people, you can go back and read watching Dr. Yum Keller in your posture be with respect to the proportional representation. How we decide to go about that. What some people say are the right way. You can read the opposition party leader in parliament, Mr. Ba, what he say, what are the proper way that for go about that. Or Sylvia Blyden get an audio in which she carefully analyze why it is legal for the president for do what he do, that they within in power and she even disagreed with some prominent lawyers in the country. Then even Mr. Kutubu Kuruma, who a lot of times touch on raw nerves, are lacking analysis, about what he thinks should have been done, and in analyzing the process, it somehow criticized the opposition leader that he not go about it the right way. But it's good for listening to their sources there, because they are really talking sense. You not have to agree with them, but they can say reasonable men can differ. But this is one topic on which I see reasonable people them. They all they see the same thing, but they get different interpretation. So we will talk about that for see how things will go. And if we get more time, we'll also go talk about some of the comments. We will play some videos about Africa, generally the development in Africa, some of the things that we need to do, how we lag behind, how we not to protect ourselves now in terms of general health as a result of what we eat, and then fertilizers and stuff that we would import, how they affect with crops. You get African, then you get some other comments about corruption. You get other comments about how Africa get for grab the bull by the horn for make sure say we do something for we safe. You also will get comments about the type of education we need in Africa. And me na one person, we me not to go around and blame which man. I mean not to go around and talk but say, hey, which man and can and colonize we, then thief we, then take we resources, then go. Now like we milk throw in your hand. Let us say you hold 1 gallon milk, if for them, and then it be open, some throw in a ground. You can complain about all that milk they would throw in a ground, but you're not going to pick them back. All right? But what is important, if you see what milk, the lily will left in that, or the balance will left in that gallon or jug the way you hold. Now, you for know how for hold and tight, how for protect, how for cover, and so next time you like it for themselves, it not go spill. But what some of we to do, we want to talk about slavery, we want to talk about witch man, we want to talk about adding chief for minerals. This is not all milk weather for the ground. There's nothing we can do about that. But they not take all the minerals then go. They not take all the diamonds, all the gold, all the coffee, all the cacao, they not take them go. They left plenty. Now waiting we did do with waiting left now we hand, when we own, at least when they take go, now be somebody else you own then can the capu for go for make the new country better. But we were left with Boku still. Now waiting we did do with waiting we left with, now they will for focus on. Not to waiting we they complain about which people them. So Mina one person we know they into that kind of a talk there, I know they into that kind of an argument there, but going to make any sense to me. I get 1/2 gallon milk in my hand. I sit down to complain about the little bit will spill in the ground, where I know say I can't do anything about. So that thing and they will get for land and because the witch man, there is pros, there is con. I mean, they're not just kind and take everything and go. I mean, we get for give them credit. I'm not even so sure if the tables were turned, if now we be there in possession of what you can see in Africa, knowing how ignorant, I would not be known nothing. We not forget say diamond, gold, all that. Now help we for appreciate or understand the value of the engine in there. But I don't know if we black man, if now we first be discovered that the witch man then be that innocent or ignorant, or they don't know nothing. If we be so kind and godly, not for thief from them. I know and for things not to we history that one day. We black man. In fact, we black man, we the thief from ourselves, we the thief from others. So we get for first engine in there. Okay. So, but we do know, there's one thing we'll go agree on. They're left with good education. They're left with good institutions like the court system, the civil service, parliamentary system, a good governmental structure, then they just can't take wealth and go. The only country that may have suffered that I know of, maybe in a Congo, but otherwise, they left with some foundation. Oh, if we be far away in Guinea, like we they far away by now. So let us stop for the talk about which man do, which man not do. Then we talk about that not as the dominant conversation, but as a reference. And let we just focus on how we do for ourselves. So we get some people and some big people like the president of Rwanda, they wanted to tell we how we go about doing things, like Professor Lumumba, they wanted there. So these are some of the topics that we can talk about. That said, I want to go back. Of course, the main topic today could be we also want to talk about the new prime minister in England, just by reference, for see how the world change, or for recognize that, you get a gentleman when in grandparents then come out India, somehow they end up being Kenya. And for one, I want to know the East African countries, them Kenya particularly, Tanzania, Uganda. Then we get a lot of Indians. In fact, Idi Amin come, I would say cruelly, just drop them. But some of them end up in Canada, some of them end up in England, some of them end up in America, and some of them end up in Hong Kong, but this is what happened. So the current British Prime Minister in grandparents in Common India, apparently in parents in Kenya, they born them. So they're Kenyan Indians or Kenyans of Indian descent. Then in your parents them immigrate to England, and then he became a British subject. And now somebody of Indian descent, just like how America beget Obama of African descent, become president. So we see another England now, then get Obama, like the way you get a dark-skinned person, we get African connection, Indian connection, now the prime minister. I just want to comment on that. Let us see the positive nature of all of that. So let me go back to the drug, quickly touch on the drug thing. Like I ask the control room, if they get 1 or 2 or 3 videos, we'll just see how it affects people them, or how they unbug people them.
Wow. These are the effects of the push. I tell you, when they sell it, it's not fun. It's a mess. If I go là, elle est pas sous. Oh, possible gars. IMF is ça qu'il say. IMF. This country is very nasty over there. Watch out. Push him and take two. Push him and take two. Watch him move. Them are not kidding. Push them. Wait. For that damage. Huh? Where's the man selling? Wait, damage yourself. Kilo. Hey, les gars. Where les gars? Hola. Wait, see. Ici, c'est bad, man. Wait, see. C'est ma chérie, hein?
Cambroca, no? Cano me Cambroca. Kano Kambruka. Kambruka. Kambruka.
They get a nice. They get a nice. Simon on ton Salone.
All right. This now among the many videos that we'll get. This now for just showing some examples of what happened in our country. Like me, so one of the things they were making criticize government, but besides, I don't forget about corruption. But sometimes, now how would they take care of the neglected, the one that we, and the small one in our society? When we see things like this, we for be concerned. Now, how will government they treat them, they take care of them? You know, if you notice, even with the citizens, them, would they become numb, used to this kind of way for see people them, their life they go down the drain, the feeling, the sorry we will forget, would not get so used to seeing this, we not get sorry again. If we continue this is how society they go down the drain. Because if you notice, one boy said, in they go to take picture with the guy where they under the influence, you know, because to him it's fun. You know, even get the humanity or the sorry in mind for see what he can do. But you know, I don't blame people. I don't blame our society. The change where would they make people and see this kind of thing? We not see every time. You know, to see government the and pandemic. You know, to see what in government they do. Then people are like the first video we see. That is so much physical abuse to somebody in body. The body cannot take but so much punishment, and the body go give out. It go die. And people then go watch them the way it hamburg himself or destroy himself, and there is nothing. I not to blame the people then, because what can they do? Nobody not get no idea. One person say hold on, another person say no, you know we hold on, you know. But so now this now society, how we see with society to go down. So some of them people here, we would see where they get infected here. We don't know whether they begin for use drugs or they begin for abuse then drugs there because of poor. They got poor and one of much a man poor and one of we worst enemies. You know, the worst enemy you get in life now poor. And me take the position that any government we come, we just make sure say we forget but you. Or we just make sure say we say I meet you and they go left you. Now bad government. And to we in our country, now that we don't see all the time, most of the time. I just who doesn't look out for a small few. We not the bill hosts for the poor. We not the bill hosts for the people. There is no reason why people are for the sleep in a treat. There is no reason why people are for the sleep in a bearing ground. There is no reason why people are for the sleep on the bridge. That make we get government. And what would they talk about employment? Just think how many social workers government go hire. If government get a policy where they take care of them kind of people here, where they take care of the poor. Because when you take care of the poor, not to economic people with economic degree number you will get for higher, you get for higher, lower level people them will get for take entries We get for do placements. You get for deal with people and way you make assessment of people and psychological fitness. All that now so government they take hire people and provide. But again, you don't go hire them people and they if the money we and they put them, you get 2, 3 people who chief all the money for pay other people, and then you get a handful of people them among themselves, the top guys in the government, and the shape among themselves. So these are some of the things then where people they don't say government get for do, but government get for do. So this drug business in our society is sorrowful, it's pitiful. We need for urge government for look into that. But one of the things I do advocate all along, government for show some humanity for begin for build affordable housing or low income housing for the very poor. It is not fun to just see people in the parade or masquerade in a treat, not because they want to do so, because they don't get nothing else for do than the hustle. You know, there are a lot of things. We're not going to forget used to bigger man them. Government can come with policy. Where bigger man they we're not going to forget bigger man, and we're not to forsake to go keep them. It will be because government will take care of them in a way of providing humane treatment for them. What will make they're not within a treat corner, the big. Because what you want to understand, even when we get a lot of Chris man in a treat, even when we get a lot of bigger man in a treat, as a matter of public health, it affects we all. You know, it affects we all. Because if you want to give bigger man money, you can forget close to them. Sometimes you get for even hand the money to them, when I hand the touch. Okay? Then you go about your business, you will pick food, put it in your mouth, you will take biscuit or you will touch money, now again in your pocket. So public health is at stake. So we need governments where get some feeling, where they feel for others. Not to look out for the one that we don't get. We need government where interested in helping the helpless. And again, like I can always preach or say, may not see the government yet. What would they talk about tribalism? I'm yet to see one government, the Salone, who look out for any particular tribe. Maybe I'm mistaken. Just show me one government say, you know, this government really kind of power. All they do, now for Timnimande, all them Timnimande at the north. Now so they all get money, then life good, then begin to go school, then they afford that. Or show me one government where you know of, headed by any other tribe like the current government, we'll go boast and brag, say, since where this government kind of power, I mean, they man their life better. I mean, they people in life wonderful. If you go put your own district, if you share they all live, how well. If you go Bont district, if you go Kailaun district, if you go Moyamba district, it is not so. It is not so. People, stop fooling yourselves. You know, that's an illusion. It's not happening. Because the people are really at the top, not to their primary interest, they're not the primary interest for look out for them tribe, and for the look out for themselves, and them buddies, them friends. And some of them friends, and they definitely go across tribal lines. You know? So we get for land, watching and teaching in America and statistics. American man keep statistics. If you cough, self, American man will tell you how many times you don't cough today. They keep record of everything. So I like for less somebody disagree with me and challenge me and say, Mr. Shillon, a nonsense you to talk. You know who will get such and such government? Everybody will come at that district there where the president come out. Now so the life good. Now so all the fat, the life good. I like that somebody show me that statistic there. Then picking and they go school, then picking to eat 3 times, 4 times a day. They're not going for waka, they're able to take keke. It is not happening. And will never happen because you're not going to run government in that haphazard way there you see any positive result. No. Governments now like boats, now waff. When the tide come, not to one boat it lift. When tide come, it lift all boats. Englishman say that. American man say that. A rising tide lifts all boats. So any government with the kind of power, where once tide for come, when are the money and the corruption, But I ain't on boat no more, and he and him party and the family and boat no more for live, na the wife. That is not going to happen. Then you don't understand what's in the tide. So then guys and where they come, where they follow now with big degrees, but they're not getting no concept of what in government is. But when they get in position, they not get the humility for say, I like for serve, but not to mirror that one day. You know? Me where they talk to now, so I get confidence in myself. I think I can be useful to any government at the world. But if you take me now, you say, make I go be the Minister of Education in Australia, and I get wonderful ideas where I go able to contribute. But I wouldn't want to be, because not to me expertise down me a lawyer. And I know a lot about me on field. You know? So it's about time with people and begin for learn, for be humble. If you get PhD, you get a master's degree in a certain field, if you're a physicist, they want to make you Minister of Agriculture, so not to me feel that one day. But I can lead institutions, I can do research. There are a lot of things I'm capable of doing for this country's sake. But agriculture, no. You know? Then day. So now this now the thing they want me to try for advocate. And we bookman and still continue for to do this stuff. And they're all contributing to the problem. Okay? They are all contributing to the problem. When you get government them, we still not understand that. Now that make we not see positive result. We not see progress. Don't forget about the result because result is ongoing. You know to get the result right away, but you go see the sign that we're heading in the right direction. So that said, I think I have said enough about this drug business, about governments and participation and help, and why them for show more interest in their ordinary people who are suffering at the street, and they're not going to be we own people. Oh, in fact, one thing I want to touch on. Yes, now this thing will come on the people that can talk back home. They go poison somebody. And people just take that for granted. To the point of, I think not too long ago, the first lady lost a brother and she felt he was poisoned. And we not even seem to forget the ability for pin down if that was so or not. You know? And if it could happen to the first lady in brother, if in fact it was true, it could happen to everybody else. Government and then duty for raise the bar that people cannot easily poison people and get away with that. There are techniques. There are people that could handle those things. Government can establish certain areas for that. So these are some of the things then. But would they left all them things, then they will make society very important. We just busy no more for go overseas, for get recognition by them big organization. Their big organization then says, then the benefit through we by tapping we on the back, even when we not to do well for we people them. So I just want to make we understand and the connection. And I think say any government will come in, if they take off whose side the other one left off, we will see progress. The reason we make we not see progress, now when any government come in, then they go back to square one. Because first of all, they not make any progress. So then they go begin. Then your way. So sometimes they not go even reach you side the other one in reach, then another government come. So I want to let people begin to see government in that light day. Always view government with suspicion. Any political scientist will tell you, say, government get enormous power, almost to the point of getting absolute power. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. So you for always view government with suspicion, no matter who that they head them. Whether or your brother, whether or your daddy. Of course, if you the benefit, the weakness from we human being, if not your brother or your daddy, not the president with the misuse power, because you didn't enjoy them, you don't see anything wrong with that. Would you see that all around the world? You know? Would you see that all around the world with some particular countries where some heads of state get tremendous power, you know? So we therefore try for work hard And we bookman them, the one that would all London book, then get all them big degree. But that made them they put them at the team for come up with ideas to the president. The president is just the head man, but he rely on staff for come up with concrete idea. So the poor man go see difference now in life, not for the worse, but for the better. All right. Now, in line of that, let me just go to a second topic before I go talk, which I consider the main topic. The second topic we all see recently, the gentleman, the Indian, now British, let me make that clear. The fact that he get different skin color, now British man, by the British then law, they born, they grow up, they get an accent, they get in culture. But the British people end up prove something to we will say for follow, because a positive example landed to me, as far as I know. They nominate and appoint this man, not only in their mind they make him Prime Minister of Britain, no. Not only in company Indians then. Well, we depend this tribal thing, this tribal nonsense. You know, I want to put somebody in a cabinet because I mean tribe come out. No. If not that, this gentleman not before be president and Prime Minister of England. Because almost all the people they will put on there. Now wait people them. We're proud of themselves being white. But then put their country first. Then look among the most likely person who will be competent enough for run the system. Then pull one of them young white one them, the woman only then a power of 44 days. In British history, they say that the shortest serving prime minister that the Britain don't ever see. Of course, the good part about it, she can also claim, she holds a history of being the only prime minister who does serve under two monarchs. They serve under Queen Elizabeth, then they serve under King Charles. Okay, so himself gets some bragging rights. The shortest time in government, but hey, you know, get two monarchs, the queen and the king, where does serve. Nobody hold that history or that record there either. So he gets something for brag about. But what you win it for land, then people have base their nomination and their appointment on someone then thinks say competent for run their country. I mean, you know, say Englishmen and are very proud people. Why I say proud? I don't mean proud in a condescending way, where they look down on people. They're proud of who they are. They're proud of their inheritance. Okay, they're proud of their history. But yet, then look at somebody who will not share the same origin with them and then say, you know what? For we country for go forward. For we forgive position to the best and the brightest. We'll go pick this man over one of we own skin color. We see him as we own Englishman. So let me stop right now. Yeah? Because I can go on and on and on. I'll take one call, then I will come back to what you have to say. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, me know Abdullah, the call from Maryland.
What's your name again?
Yeah, Abdullah, the call from Maryland.
Oh, Abdul, okay. Yes, sir. You know, one of we ardent listeners.
Now, the issue about this drug abuse, now intrigued me.
Now, you the cut off. Repeat what you say. I know you clear this stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard the issue about this drug abuse. Now,
Okay.
Now, issue where they close to me, a few ask. So when come, this is a very, very pertinent issue we find for a lot of discourse. And few months ago, I listened to one BBC documentary, Eye on Africa, with specifically about Sierra Leone and the drug abuse and the effect of drug abuse. And then purposely then talk about this kush here. This kush where the people and the tick and the effect of the kush them. Then the way society they treat them, we self how they treat them. And you will find out, say, most of the one the way they take this drugs, like you rightly mentioned, say, now the poor people. And then they see themselves say then are the downtrodden, that society not get nothing for offer for them. They are the wretched of the earth. So as a result, they not get anything for turn to, but now this drugs. So now the reason that make them take the drugs, and when I follow that documentary, I learned a lot from them. So then young people there, one, society they fail to address the issues, government they fail to address the issues. And the way government they fail to address the issues, you go look now, as I tell you so, the one mental okay, the one mental you get me?
Yeah, I think they line the break, but keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay, yeah, the one mental health hospital where we get now one grain person they
psychiatrist.
Yeah, just one psychiatrist, and this, we know they do proper sensitization from. Let me start from primary schools them now. Because if it starts from primary school, picking they don't get the awareness from primary school. By the time they go when they enter secondary school, the awareness will just then continue that sensitization. They tell them the effects of drugs and how they themselves it affects their life. If we continue and say to the high school, at least then they will help a lot with them picking them. But government, society, they neglect them. And government have not they neglect them. So we really need to step up if we really want to curb this year, because it really first time you go sit in a marijuana and when we small with the able to kumbijara, then later we can able to cocaine and Sierra Leone. But this push the kind way the beginning and then the youth here they take them is so they unbog them. It is really unbog them. We really need to do something for them to curb that menace. And that's not more I say for call for last talk.
Thank you very much, Abdul. As always, you always come up with constructive ideas and suggestions. I go comment on that, but maybe I take one more call. Then I go comment on what you say, and we'll go handle that topic there. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's side you call from?
Hello, Mr. Salone. How are you?
Fine, sir. How about you?
I do fine. Me and Edward Mara, I call from Philadelphia.
Okay, Mr. Mara. Nice hearing from you.
Yes, I want to commend you on this very, very brilliant program. And I really like your analysis on issues because you're coming from a honest perspective, not favoring any party for the good of Mama Salone. And I just wish that we people learn from all which you say and change their mindset. It will find for we as a country for where we grow, because until the mindset of Sierra Leoneans change for the better, I not see how we continue to go before. But I will go really want for let you talk about the visit of the Guinea head of state to Sierra Leone. What's not the impact to the government and what's not the impact to the people them? A very, very important this week, and I don't want to let you forget that. You know, I just want for your analysis, because you know would make so much sense when it comes to issues we get to deal with the development of Sierra Leone, because this is very important. Why this close to my heart? I want for like this visit really take care of the issue of Yenga. We're very close to Sierra Leone and their heart, but I really want to know how you go analyze in visit, because so many people get opinion about, the Guinean leader in visit in Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Mara. I could touch on that too, hopefully. Make I take some more calls. Hello, caller. What's your name? Who's you call from?
Yeah, this is Mike. I call from Philadelphia.
Hello, Mike. Thanks for calling. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Tell me what you get in mind.
Yeah, we just want to say this drug problem we will get in our country. Now the big one, the system that they involved, but it's still, I mean, they're not able to stop up. You know, I don't know how much money then they make off of it, but then they destroy the country. And then they see it now destroy and they destroy the country. Now yeah, we there where drugs come na Salone. Drugs just come na Salone. What they tell we say na chicken gizzard, what they go catch na Guinea. Who said that drugs there they come out? Why we police they involved by them drugs there? Why we government officials then they involved by them drugs there? And what them drugs there they end up na the poor neighborhoods there in our country. You know? Why didn't they do that day? And now they say they degrade the society, now they degrade the whole country. And guess who that then they take them drugs there? Now they small but they take them drugs. The future of the country, now then they take them drugs there. And I don't see Salone will change until we change that constitution the way we get so where they give them people who have too much power. Until we change that constitution, nothing no go change in Salone. Just the same continuous, any government will kind of the same thing. Until we change that constitution, they will get so. Nothing no will change in Salone. Nothing, absolutely nothing. You know, I don't want to hold up the line. On my own contribution list for now, I will continue for listening and I will try for callback and things will go on. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah,
Shilon.
if something cross your mind, where you know where you just talk, so you know where you remember, just call back, and then we will talk to you. Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mike. Okay. Well, Abdul, Mr. Edward Mara, and Mike, when I all say something very, very important. You know, Abdul talk about the fact that not only that in the topmost in mind, but you see how the government, you know, the help, like our comment. Now, it may be fair that not to say the government bad or the governments, if I don't have any government would try for help. I think say today in the list of priority, that is very important. If you poor, you are the wretched of the earth, you know count. If you illiterate, who cares? Maybe in the order of things, the first order of business, they will hold on as much government money in grants than would come. Second order of business, they will make sure we make enough money, we'll go out of power, we will remain gentry. So by the time when they think about the poor man, time don't run out. It may very well be. That's so not across the mind. But now we on job for bring them to the mind. Okay. Okay, let me just tell you right here, because I don't like for let people in there on the line for too long. I will get back to this comment I want to make. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where side you call from?
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Shilon. This is Ahmed, the call from UK.
Okay, Ahmed. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So happy at least with the analysis and makes a lot of sense sometimes. More people there to follow and what they say. I wish they want the way they need you, the way they follow. Let them put all sentiment aside. But just like as usual, like last week, which also the comment that we see what they happen today in our country. Sometimes, you know, all the agreement is the constitution, why you know changing mayor. But the fact is integrity. It's integrity. Let's say they give you power, now you get power for anything. But at least for humanity's sake, sometimes you get to look at how you get to rule the person who will be near you. Either it will be your wife or your family. You're not going to use the power because you get power past the human or you prepare in our house. You don't bully them. The same thing they have to say, look, we are accepting the constitution to some extent is bad. But do we look at the bad thing of the constitution for making more somebody the type of use them to just be, or do bad things? That's why you do a ruler for day. No, that country yourself who saw this. Joe Biden get power in America. You are the same to the prime minister, the new prime minister now get power in UK. But you say that they just use in power no so no, you got to follow procedure because they're letting them people there. Now this will fail. When people that want to put ahead for delivery, they're not getting integrity. They're not getting integrity at all. You see, now the problem is today with this, they corrupt it too much. Then they just they thief money, enrich themselves. Look at them drugs here. Few days ago, your own sister, young people, imagine they say their own for their drug business push. Imagine somebody will just take SS1. And so piece up. I said, why? What's another prevent there? Somebody I don't know if they are for sale or whatever. It just go rampant that we don't expect here. Imagine this government come, with all the promises. They will can't say this thing today, they kill the youth, the young one they said it's so rampant. Then they said there was a time his sister, no small sister, one car to say somebody count and Ramadan. I said, go and back. I they said as you get your small, you get your own small brother then, so brother then go begin to take her. I go feel. I said, no matter the money. I said, return and never. If you get something, call me make I send for you money. If you want something, if you do business, don't look for that huge profit. I said, never. I said, never. Go with them. You can't imagine that. And today, now they want to send them market and get them under the table there. They tell them $1. Because of poverty, they make money out of it. They get huge profit out of the area. So they make money faster. Police, they sell them. So the one they sell them. Me, young brother, then at the army. Then and of course, the police officer and military police. So this arrest every day. Now then, the leaders then, just like what Mike said, the leaders then today, now they don't cause this problem. Now they don't cause this problem today. Then the leaders then, and then they say them police officers, then the military then. Now then, Mr. Sunan, and they do them deal there. They don't have both this country so much that they loot them, then they get problem today. So the issue is terrible. The issue is terrible, Mr. Silo. It's very terrible with this present situation where they're in Africa. It's really sad. These drugs don't cause a lot of problems. Even the bubble they want to come out for them by and drugs that they take. They feel anything. And they take drugs. But many more than execute the thing for you. But look at the leadership today. We'll get with all the what you say, they will come put things in place. For make them control the system, make them control the young one. Then today it's just worse. It worst ever since. Sometimes need to condemn no. Some people they just talk for talk's sake. But we don't know that country. I don't grow. I don't go school. I don't go university. This kind of system not ever this. We are this situation we talk today. Economically it's tough, but this is the worst time at Salone. Thank you very much, Mr. Shilong. Time on. Thank you. I do appreciate your analysis all the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Please stay tuned. I always call whenever you get something for Express. Let me also acknowledge the presence of my co-host, Ms. Farima. How are you, ma? Welcome. I hope you're doing well.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I just got my lips swell a little bit, but I'm fine. Thank you.
All right. Well, hope everything is coming along. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get a few calls. Make I go back to my analysis where they make. I'll start off with Abdul, where Abdul talk about one mental hospital in the country. Well, again, these are the small things that we for the point out where people don't understand. We brothers and sisters, they were hung up on tribalism. Sometimes I go they hit that issue there because sometimes it borders on selfishness when you can't see above party. Sometimes it borders on ignorance. And remember, ignorance not based upon you get big book certificate in the world. There are a lot of ignorant, educated people there. We not get no idea about contemporary issues. Where you with this alone, you know more past we than I are. But the man is teaching at university, or the woman is teaching at university. So not to everybody get, because you see the thing is, what happen with a lot of we would not trade with common sense, with book learning. So we take the common sense, we empty we hate for cram book and get degree. Then we get a degree now, common sense not there. So when I say left, you go right. When I say right, you go forward. And so some of we did. The one, then we get the common sense in the book, then can perform wonders. They are like genius, They're like geniuses because then they can do well. So when we talk about one mental hospital, think of a whole country. One whole country. Now, wait, man, they established that hospital there. Without their independence, 61 years or 62 years. God alone knows when they established that thing there before we get independence. 30 days, we own common sense. With all the bookman that we will get, with all the book woman they will get, with all the Christmas they will see a treat, with all the stress, with poverty and all kind of things they bring from people. Then will book man there, then will book woman there. You know, they cross their mind for say people with mental problem get for be taken care of. People with emotional problem should be taken care of. Well, book man they're not even concerned either. Think for one moment. One all upline. Una where they talk about tribalism. Una don't get Timini, una don't get Limba, una don't get Minde president. Why any of them guys don't ever think for set up mental hospitals and then please if they so care for una? Okay? So when they run that tribal rubbish to una for be smart enough for bring that. If you come on at the north, Christmas and Dede. If you come out na Bombali district, if you come out na Tonkolili district, if you come out na Potloko district, if you come out na Cambia district, I mean not even call them two districts within create because to me na ridiculousness than this. So I don't even want to know them. If you come on a Kalang district, you know, if you come on a Kono district, if you come on a Kenema district, if you come on a Moyamba district, if you come on a Pujong district, if you come on a Bont district, Christmas then all them district then they. Members of parliament then they come out there. Do they care about the crazy people then? No, we all grow up with see Christmas days. That's fun. You know, we're not treat them, we don't look themselves as human beings. Are people that will get soul. Are people that will get feelings. Are people that will they hurt. Are people that will need as people that will need attention. No, because so they not raise we. For ignore them. So when we find ourselves in a position of power, they no count. So the Minde president, you don't care about the Christ Minde man or Minde woman, where the work can treat and talk to himself and do other things for himself. The Timini president no care about a Timini Christ man. The Limba president will care less. And I keep addressing this issue. So if these people want to show you they care so much about their tribe, let them show you proof of what they don't do for their tribe. I challenge every one of them. None of them don't give a damn. So because when we educated people, when you see people in America, people in England, we for no better, then they go demonstrate for APC and SFPP. I keep saying to myself, how stupid can these people be? How insensitive can they be? What is there to celebrate about what these parties have been doing to us and they've done to the country? Aren't we thinking, aren't we reading, what's no problem? You know, and the more disappointing part of it, the large number of people that were involved. Unlike even the Anes-Kuruma government, because the Anes-Kuruma government, Anes no study abroad, Anes na Trabe College go, you know, get no contact with abroad until they begin raise money for run for the office. So you can get a little pass for saying don't know any better. But then guys here will come out abroad. And then, of course, when an SC1 pick cabinet, you see the kind of people that we pick. Because himself not know any better. You see? I don't want to call names, but when I know them. People that will go buy substandard buses and come left out of the country and say they buy 100 million. You will not know them. Okay? And we see that continue under this government. So what this man talk about, where Abdul say, nah, one mental institution, and not only that, even the one mental institution when a free tongue in a Kisi, now one trained doctor, psychiatrist, the whole nation, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. The whole nation get one psychiatrist. And the only reason why the Ministry of Health not consider for get more, because the one the way they head the ministry I don't know any better and they not care. You know? They don't care. Mental health not mean nothing to them.
I want kind in on that, Mr. Salone. I want kind of that quick, so I want to make a quick correction.
Okay.
Like last year before last, they tried for rehabilitate the hospital, the mental health. Because like I tell you, I have a sister.
You say correction. So, correction. It sounds like addition. Correction. But go ahead.
You hear me?
Yeah, they hear you.
Oh, okay. And I just want to make a correction that they rehabilitated the Kisi mental hospital. and then get doctors. Then they now, they do private practice, because my sister, they go to one of the private doctors, and young person, and one of the people then, and papa been be a doctor in America, yeah, a mental health doctor, and he go back, young guy, instead of the practice mental health, and they were trying to do rehabilitation. So, but still, now one center then gets now Kisi, but then get a few doctors, because the only doctor we've been there before have been Dr. Naib, where, I mean, he was so, kind of overwhelmed, because the Christmas problem, we don't begin Bokuna Salone. And after the war, people take to mind, people go crazy, people cannot cope, then begin turn to drugs, and access to drug became available. Then begin bring drugs into Sierra Leone. We see of the big cocaine balls, we see of this other truck we come where they allegedly say na drugs they inside. We don't hear of vehicle them where they say they interject where they go out on other country when a Sierra Leone drugs and all that kind of thing in there. But you said a right word just now where you say they don't make it a priority. I listened the other day, talk to the minister. I listened to this young youth minister. He sounded promising. He sounded like, one of the things was drug problem. And if the country gets this epidemic now of drugs, it's like when you see, 2 days ago, I get one bubble where my sister pick up, they help. So I say, okay, let's try and for do something. I put computer, I say in a music elect, they burn CD, they do this, they do that. I put computer, or put waiting and call, begin make it get usai like a center. But this guy was taking kush before. And he tell me, say, oh, Auntie Fatima, I don't ever take kush. Thank him, I go prove you, whether and call. But when you begin take drugs, when you become an addict, the brain in chemical and in brain in function, they change. And you become an addict, you act for life. So those people, they go pray, say, and they power to them call. But then when you keep hanging with the same people, you're going to become, you're going to get relapse. And you get relapse. I don't know if he left the shop open or whatever, I know where then thief over how many millions of leons, over 8 million leons worth of stuff there inside. My sister was mad. They go put on a police. I said, no, you can't go lock her up. I said, he's sick. It's a disease. Because now, even though I'm in choice for beginning the drug as an adult, but now in brain function don't change and don't become addict. Because that's the way a lot of these young guys, they cope with the problems of the country. And this don't begin first them. We not been get like one of the caller they say we not been getting all them drug problem. Then if them picking and they smoke, that young boy then they smoke. Not jamba then go smoke. You go see them they smoke jamba, then kumbe jara or whatever. We get bad jamba, you go see they run make like them pull them close na trees. We not be the see boku Christmas them. Because if you get mental problems, if your family they keep you in there, take you in there, and one you go see they walk on the street. Or they want they were very violent, they go lock them at Cressade where they not be able for rehabilitate them and they change them, the conditions were so bad, but they don't try for we do that hospital there. And it is a problem. I see that video of the guy, the young guy where you post now we forum, Mr. Shilon, of this guy on Kush, high on Kush, and you see the thing as a parent in a hot belly. And I said that was somebody's child that she had. Somebody's child, the mother had dreams of a child, and it is a shame we live in a country where the young people, then the future of Sierra Leone, we watch it day by day. They become, the death rate, the suicide rate is high, all that kind of thing, and because Pekin are not able to cope the pressures of society, they're not sabi. Some of these young boys and girls, their parents, them, now being the young one, them, when we don't see the war. When we don't see the war, they don't know how to parent. They don't know how to cope. The parents themselves are messed up. They don't know how to cope. How they going to raise picking and some, but then they left upline, then come for greener pasture, they just can't in the street in freedom. And what did they expect? They happen because they see in America, yeah, People run away. They say they want to go be stars. They go to California. Go look at them under the bridges. They left their mama and papa house. They go lead them, and all that they end up in drugs and what's it called. But it's a small country of 7 million people, and we make education priority, but the other social issues that we get for put forward. And if we don't have a healthy nation, we're not going to get a wealthy nation, because the people are broken. The people are, you see the young Bobo Titi, them, the things that they do now, for we own generation, we they look at like, we're in awe and shock. But this is the norm. And unfortunately, they're not doing enough for try for help them picking the day, because there's no hope. There's nothing they're looking into. They don't have spending power. They don't have earning power. Yes, not a government, everybody for look up to for job. But if the prices of everything is going up, I went to the store the other day, everything is going up. But our people will suffer more because they don't have the spending power. They don't have the earning power. They don't get the spending power out for spending and money. So it's going to be difficult for them. And that's in order for do. Why other young boy where I can help once upon a time, why we can help one time, he called me, said, don't left the job, and they work in the airport. He said they don't pull they were like helpers at the airport where people then come. Now he said 2 months now, he called me now, say, right now I get so many commitments, I cannot help you, but I will put you on my list. That's our life, in Sierra Leone people, every day with people. So those young boys, the hope where them in the outside that they earn, now the earning don't go. Now how for do who side they pull now forget, because the one way they get no money and too much. They get nothing for create wealth, for keep wealth, for what's they call. So it is so the country, they don't make them priority. But I heard the minister of youth they talk, and he was so promising. And I wrote on the thing, I say, this is really promising, the way they say, Ingo attack this, Ingo attack. I say, I hope it's not just words. Because he's a young guy himself. I hope it's not just words. I hope they get for put them so that we will able to change the lives of the people, because this is the future. And we'll go begin them, then they take drugs, then they into prostitution, then they into thievery, the thievery rates don't go up. Everything is just crazy. That's the future. We got few percentage where they go college, work all day. Waiting and they begin to then self-distress, the waiting and call. That's how they do to cope. And once you go into drugs, for come up back inside your stuck. And that is the problem. And how do we fix that problem? For no we not get, or I hear one of the other caller, they say, let's start from kindergarten to say no to things. Because I remember Nancy Reagan began, this is your drug, this is your brain on drugs. I think it was Reagan. When they talk to the school, this is your brain. It will fry your brain, and then you're not able to function. And they don't know the thing, but that's the way they cope. It's just coping mechanism, and they go for cope. They like the feeling, it numbs their pain. But waiting and they forget, say, once the drug, the high is gone, the problem is still there waiting for you. So drug is not the answer. But do we have campaign going around? I don't know. I don't see no campaign going around to say no to drugs, because once you go in there for commodity back, it's going to be difficult. So now that I just want to add to that drug segment today, Mr. Shion, sir. And good afternoon to all. Thank you all so much again. As VOS family, every Sunday you come to support and listen and engage. Una thank you, let God bless you, because without you now, there's no VOS. This is a platform that was created, your voice, my voice. And, we respect one another, but thank you so much. But when I do we one thing, everybody when they watch right now, when I share for we, let somebody else go can watch. So I'll pass them back to you. And look, you see, my lip still swell. I had a fall this weekend. I was trying to raise my grandson. I tried for race for one race with him, and I be well off back and I wear sneakers. I fall down on my driveway, and I busted my lip, and I have stitches inside underneath. But at least I can talk now, so yeah. But that's what it is. So I'll pass it back to you, Mr. Shiro.
All right, ma'am. Couple of things. Number one, we run a pool every week we can get suggested issues for let people tune in. We can get a survey for let people tell which and feel. So, of course, for this week, now mostly this proportional representation this current political issue in Australia. We will not get to it, but we'll get to them. So we say, is proportional representation system of voting good for Sierra Leone? Well, first of all, if you understand what that means, then and consider the proportional. So the question is yes or no. So we will give now at the end of the show, we will tell you now what in the survey revealed or what in the results. So I just want to bring that to my attention. With respect to the other thing, I think say Ms. Fadima make some give you some information. The only problem I get with that, I'm not so sure. There was no argument about the fact that they don't improve the hospital. Like you see, because I get a girl picking, my daughter, a psychiatrist, and I happened to visit Sierra Leone last year, and the primary concern was for go to the facility for meet the doctors then day. And she said things are much improved. So that what Ms. Fadima saying are true. The facilities improved, there are patients then we really don't come around, we meet, the doctor then say how the condition will be before. But I still think saying now one psychiatrist will get, there may be doctors visiting them for giving medical treatment. But Dr. Jallo, if there's another psychiatrist, I stand corrected. But I think that Dr. Jallo now the only psychiatrist we didn't get. There may be other doctors they will visit for medical purposes, but as far as psychiatry is concerned. The other thing I want to comment about, what Ms. Fadima talk about, particularly this relative we talk about with them to try for help, we tell and say, they can't push anymore. Well, it's not enough, and you got to blame government for that. It's not enough for let person out of your own desire and your own power just stop for drink if it is drink, just stop for smoke if it is smoke. Now this country, we know they get treatment centers for all them children, alcohol, anonymous, and drug treatment centers. So when this young person tells Ms. Fadima say indoor quit, I believe it be sincere, it be try, but by himself he not get with you. So if government serious to forget treatment centers, we forget treatment centers. You see, one of the reasons why policies fail, even though we not share some of the blame when they give President Bio about the fact that he introduced free education, but as effective. I not share that view there. I think at least it started. The one that will know better than can improve them. Okay. But the reason why work as the president envisioned is because not put the right people in the right place, not put enough funding into the idea, and not bring enough experts who have ideas about education. Not to like the two PhDs there would run the Department of Education. They are not experts in education. These are highly educated people. They get impressive degrees, but not to the expertise nowadays. So you're not going to expect the best ideas for come from them. So when the president just put bookman them, as in policy makers, they will not know anything about policy. It's not surprising that get the expected results. Because there are people who are specialists in education administration, all kind of thing, in the sciences of education. But when include them kind of people, and they will get Kutubuki said the gravitas for doing it, instead of you just want to get people that will get PhD in physics, PhD in math, PhD, you will end up falling face flat. So me not taking the credit from President Bio. I think his intentions were good. I think he tried. So I don't want to criticize them for the free education, for say, some people, there are a lot of things I could say negatively about them because there are still kids who are still operating, going to school in Australia as if free education don't exist. But me, I rather look at the cup half full as being half empty. So me not going to be one of the president in critics. But if we talk about treatment, about taking care of the drug people, then we know how they do in this country. When are they college? When are they law school? I work in a psychiatric hospital. I better give medication, I better give injection, I better do it. So I get some ideas of what I'm talking about. Now, some of the things that way foreign countries don't teach we. So people are going to go back home. You just can't tell me, say, me a doctor or you that I get to see what you to do because I get idea. Before I work in a mental hospital now, yeah? Okay, for 3 years, I work in a mental hospital. I work in a medical hospital, doing me undergraduate, full time. I was interacting with doctors and nurses and orderlies and then people and they and technicians and this and that. So out of just general experience, there's a lot of we now know. You see, because we began for work for living, so we learn by experience. So I'm just simply saying some of them things here we need for do. So waiting Abdul to talk about, he's quite right. He talk about I meant this thing about sensitization. Okay, they talk about picking them for land engine and they what and they. I mean that's a bright idea. Begin for teach picking them in the early stages of their education why drugs not good. Well, we'll get a system whereby we know, to all names we will call, but even under the previous government, we know about ministers who are trafficking drugs. This is how unserious these guys are, and then they give them a position and a government. This is not a previous government. The current government is subject to the same scandal about drug trafficking. And somebody called at the show will say, then they begin disguise them as na chicken within the container then and they but we do can't fool the public down and even the police chief get for loss in job. Why is a government or any government go engage in drug trafficking or and even entertain or encourage people who would engage in drug trafficking? Or a government affair show the traffic drug, we not see the walls of Padema Road. It just so these guys, they are not serious about running government. It's all about money. Any way they can get money, then go do them. And this not go to one particular government.
That's
Just see
true.
APC
That's
get
true,
a bad
Mr.
name there, SFP get a bad name there. So this just show you, like I always say,
That's
they're
true.
one and the same.
There are
Go
no
ahead.
consequences. I said that
Yeah.
that's true. There are no consequences when people of authority, people of power, people of influence, when they break the law, there are no consequences. Because consequence not day, what you get for do, or they will keep doing it because nobody not get for ask, nobody not get for all, nobody, and the poor one them, now then they suffer. The innocent citizens were not able to cope with life. Like this drug business, it is, if you go now free tongue where you see them, you they work out, it is so sad, Mr. Shillon, for see young boys and girls they're strung up on this kind of thing, and people see it at home, they're videoing it and they're showing it all around. And the minister, youth minister, don't know say there's an epidemic, and he talked about it this Thursday that's past that he's gonna try to do it. And I pray it is not just talk. I pray they do something. We're going to change them, prepare their life, and try to help them. Like you say, there are no centers. There are no centers. Just like I tell Mrs. Beal the last time, when she had this hands off our girls, she put it out there. The information is out there. But if me not picking, they don't abuse me or I want talk or they afraid for talk. Where is safe house where I go? Where is the center? Where is the center where I go for go get help, for go get healing? We need that center where I go for go. If I can't say my papa raped me or me this they do this to me or my teacher do this, because I get for go some side where I go feel safe where I go, but they don't have those things. They just talk the talk, but they're not they complete the mission. And the missions are not being completed. And every government where they can and come back, they don't take these things priority. And these are the lives of people. Somebody's getting rich off of these drugs. Somebody's getting rich off of this thing. And unfortunately, now we young man and woman them, now then they suffer the way then they suffer. So now people picking them. Then mama them be get dream for them. Then papa them be getting their family get dream for them. How you go see somebody else in your own picking that video where you see how that bubble the push they go into his system. They waiting say I mean people just gather and just it's just fun, it's just a norm, everyday norm. So it don't move nobody no more because that's what they see every day. That's part of life. That's the everyday life of Sierra Leoneans. So they'll just take it as fun. We share it. Now they make we know we share it, but what are the people doing about it? What are they doing about it to stop this nonsense? That's the question. That's the question.
Indeed,
That's a sad,
indeed,
sad question. You know.
indeed. Because never before have we had so many ministers. What would be the growth? There was just a handful of ministry and ministers, and things were efficiently
Yes,
run.
sir.
Now, where you get Minister of Higher Education, Minister of Lower Education, Minister of Middle Education, Minister of Left Education, Minister of Right Education, Minister, Deputy Minister of this, Deputy Minister of that, they all get a big degree. What are we getting? What's the result? Barely anything. You know? So this is heart-rending. For some people like we would not see the past and they see the present. Now I make a lot of some of who not even we're not impressed. You don't impress me by the degree you hold. You do impress me by the result you get from what you're doing or for the ministry you're headed. Okay, that's how I get impressed. You can get all 8 degrees from Harvard and Yale and Oxford and Cambridge on that doesn't mean a thing, because we all know say book sense now one thing, book sense combined with common sense now ain't the best sense, you know.
Yes, sir.
I will not see much of that, and we see the result. The result
You
we
can
see
get the information. Yes, you can get the information, which is the degree. You don't get all the information and the knowledge, but you don't have the intelligence to apply what you've learned. So without that sense there for apply what you don't learn for make it become something for influence and impact society, then it's useless, because then waiting at the knowledge for knowledge without sharing it and trying to impact society and people's life and change people's life. That's the dilemma we're in, and that's the Africa all over. You look the problem they all say. And one of the president, I think it was Pugami or something, when he came to power, I don't know if Nabi in or Wilder one, where he came to power, he looked at all these young boys, and the video was there a long time ago, maybe 4 years ago, and he went around and make them go pick all the young boys the way they not treat. All the one the way society say they create, some not stress, some not frustration. They just need small mental health tablet and whatever. He took them in, he puts them all on one side, he give them host for sleep, he put them all in one big building, make a like mental facility. He cuts them all here, give them good bath, then clean them, then give them medication. A lot of them return to society doing well. You see, and I was so impressed. I don't remember, I think a couple of years ago, that video was going around social media. And I was so impressed with that video, because what he did is sent his medical people, say, go out there, all these people, just like what they do so right now with the mental health with Blacker. Blacker, they say that they help them, but then they use them for make a mockery of religion to me, that religion has changed him, and then they use them for do politics with a man that is not 100% up there. But Blacker, if you give him medication and you give him the right direction, it will come. But then they are using him for score them, points them. And you see some of these things, it's all backwards, the way they do things in our country. So it's just so go ahead with your other topics. We don't mix.
Okay.
That's
Very quickly, there is a gentleman by the name of Edward Mara. We talk about the one that will comment a little bit about the visitation or the visit of the Guinean president to Sierra Leone. I think one thing we get in mind is we get one area in Sierra Leone what they call Yenga, where I think they're back of the Kono area and at the border between we and Guinea. And the argument is Yenga as part of Sierra Leone. Now a subtle or undercover kind of dispute that the way Sierra Leone don't get to Guinea for maybe the past 50 or more years. That we land, but the Guineans then dominate them. And we've not been able to exercise jurisdiction over that land there. And this will go from president to president to president. And this thing seems to be a highly held secret where the people in Sierra Leone, this might be news to them. that even though Yenga physically, to my understanding, is part of Sierra Leone, but the exercise and control of the daily activities of the people now by Guinea. So this gentleman want to know if Dumbuya go address that. Well, I have no idea, but I will hope
Well,
that.
yeah, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No, go ahead if you get an idea
No,
about that.
according to David Senge, not David Senge, the other one, Professor Francis, David Francis. He been do an interview with the how they call the SLBC, where this man really come. And he say, well, they come for can't talk on, for hand over the man, ECOWAS, they don't approve him, Bill, no go make a talk on that big stuff, na so man, then they can't ask President Bill, I do him. But another thing back, he said they get for talk on the bilateral and all the other, this part of Sierra Leone, this land, this Tenga, where they fed for. But I don't think they discussed that or whatever it is because David Francis put forth what he can talk about. And a big deal, a whole bunch of big deal on social media, the buzz these 2 days on the convoy where Colonel Lansana Mamadou Doumbouya brought to inside Sierra Leone. And to me, I made an audio yesterday. And to me, I think we worry about the wrong thing. Some people, yes, were scared, as they say. Obviously, people will say, "What's in the going with all this Cuscas road? Don't get all this stamp." People go wondering, what's in the going at Salone? We see they one day they come. We see Guinea, Motokade, and whatever. Some people not go know at Guinea, and later they go no. Yes, we understand. Say people they go scared. Yes, maybe the information minister or the people to the thing for me don't give ahead of time. But then again, it can be say now a mission where they no want announced to the one on wall, and he was using the road. And they don't approve him. Sierra Leone don't approve him because maybe Sierra Leone not able provide the security where he need or he not trust Sierra Leone, the army, for protect them. So they don't make arrangements, they don't come to a conclusion, an agreement, and they don't tell and say, I am coming with X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And not just go just car inside people's country in an armored vehicles and loaded thing. So this is an agreement between the president of Sierra Leone or the security forces of Sierra Leone and the security forces of Guinea. Okay, we know Africans. People were saying Gaddafi self be don't can like so, and so Gaddafi self been can inside Sierra Leone, blah 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 blah. And we know this is how our African leaders roll, because they don't have the sophisticated and security detail where we're able for. So they come with might, they come with their force, and that's how they show say back up or you come near me, you're gonna be blown up. And I make the comparison with when America, when Putos, the president of the United States, when he travels in America or outside America, where they ride, in motoka, where they call, in code name, they call it the Beast, when he is inside that Beast and all the secret service there where they around them, they all carry the same weapon and they worse ones them, but we don't see it out like that. We know they see her out, it they inside the vehicle them. If anything is to happen, una go know then what's in them vehicle and they carry. But they don't put it out there to scare the people and scare the nation. And so then come for can talk. I said the conversation what they have now is what in they can talk about, what in the benefits the people, because cost of living is high. We know Guinea has a port that is very, very friendly to the people, and businesses are going to Guinea. Sierra Leone, they buy from Guinea. Mano River, we all then are the same union. How is it going to be, kind of profitable? How they will talk, what they will talk about, for what they benefit and try for help the lives of citizens of Sierra Leone, instead of we creating panic and all that kind of stuff out there. Because I want to read what we they do for better we serve. I want to read what the president and they talk about. We want to read the conversation. What are these conversations? Where influence and where therefore help the people of Sierra Leone? That is my question. I said, let we not waste with time by the convoy, because it has been, they don't communicate, because he is a trained French soldier, looking tall, standing tall, looking good, and a trooper, a power trooper. It don't be a trooper. It don't be an air force pilot and all that stuff. So waiting and talk about now for the worry about. Like how the gentleman said, Mr. Mara, that landed it, because waiting at the problem what we get in Sierra Leone and most African countries, we see a problem from the beginning. We allow it to go on and on. We push it under the rug, or we ignore it. When you ignore something that is a problem, if you don't cut it when it starts, this is what will happen. So when they get all them have go and they now that borderline they right now. Because if the land belonged to Sierra Leone from the longest term, from our grandpapa and term, then for we don't cut the one that they empower, then for we don't draw that line of demarcation, say this land belongs to Sierra Leone, period. We can allow una for there, but not to una geya. And if then they use we land, then therefore we can forget income out of it. But our people don't think in leadership. And this is the problem. Now the chickens are coming home to roost. And we don't allow something for long. When we allow wrong for happen so long, it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna be a problem. Just like I say, when they don't allow people learn for build any kind way, any kind side, any time now when they go say, who want go pull this house here, this house not for support, the person don't build the house, he don't need 10 years. How you go pull them come inside now, not to fit and trouble and die the commodity. So why do we keep allowing wrongs? We're trying to score points. We're trying to win elections. We are allowing wrong to happen, and we continue for allow wrong to happen. And that's why we keep getting the results we getting. Because in the end, it's the people of Sierra Leone that's going to suffer later. We don't know what he then talk about. We don't know what he then talk about. We don't know. Because it talks, say they go talk so, but nobody not come back and tell we say, now X, Y, Z then talk. Yes, they're not going to tell we all the information, because some of that go be classic, classic information or whatever it is. You cannot tell everything. But at the same time, you can't get the people, okay, the Guinea president, Binkana Yasso, he can talk to President Bill, would they talk on bilateral trade, would they talk how we'll live happily ever after as neighbors and all that good thing, but nobody's telling us nothing. Because they don't respect us, they don't value us. So, and I agree with Professor, they talk again today, because I deliberately ignored that part, but I see Professor Kutubu call out today. When you have state visits, the wife of the president no get no business na state visit when they talk classified government to government. She is just a wife. If they get reception after the fact, they want to go host the person. Yes. But you see, all these things we do backward. The people that are there are not doing what they're supposed to do. You see how they allow certain things that went protocol with a break protocol and with a waiting and call, because she didn't have. I saw her going up the steps and I was like, whoa. But I deliberately did not go there yesterday, but I heard Kutubu in Odioti, the way he pulled, it make that clear that she does not have no business in sitting with the thing. Let we talk on government to government, president to president. When they sit down, then they talk on government business. They get some way, all man for your read and get some way, nobody not for it. That's why they did not want the press to be there yesterday. So we do things, we don't even, Sierra Leone just do things what they do. The people are suffering. How? What's in come out of the meeting? Nobody tell us. It's been one day, 24 hours. Nobody not tell we nothing. Waiting, then say, waiting at the results and waiting come out of the visit. We don't know. They don't care. They don't tell us. We don't ask. They don't tell us. That's how much they don't care about us. That's how much they don't respect us. So, go ahead, sir. It is all just right. A mess. It's just a mess.
So, with respect to this younger business, again, what Jimmy keeps saying, and we see the results, because Sierra Leone we are bent on not picking a good team. Let me give one a classic example. When America began to negotiate with Iran, over this nuclear deal where President Trump come and kick after Obama don't do it. What you will have seen that was so impressive was the Iranians. They had such a good team of negotiators, all Iranians, from prominent universities around the world. Iranians who were sitting at the conference table, some of whom were colleagues of other guys on the American side, with whom they went to Yale, they went to Harvard, and other prominent American universities. This is what you talk about: wit against wit, brains against brains. It would have been foolish of the Iranians then if they didn't have qualified people, not forget people and for advising on the other side. We have a problem in Sierra Leone, and it will continue. Well, we want to go on foreign relation or any kind of thing. We want to put the competent people in, because you look for degree holders then. Okay, professor, what they call, they get degree in agriculture, send them for go negotiate trade business. Professor, this and that, it be the teach English, so they be part of the team. That's what we do. We not believe in specialization, we not believe in qualification, so we always will get the shorter end of the stick. Okay? Until we come to with senses, we begin to realize, for say, when we talk about the best and the brightest, it don't mean that first can't take first in a class. It means the right people and for the right job in the right position. Okay? There is a reason why Guinea, they import cheaper than we own, because they know better international policies than we do. No question about it. There is a reason why people in Australia and they bypass we import. Then they go to Liberia and Guinea instead of coming to we import. Because we don't command until we say, just raise the tariff, just keep raising it. Just keep raising the duty. You see? So because one become gentry in one day. Whereas Guinea and Liberia, then they go anti-clockwise. So then they get all with business, cheap, then they kind of bypass with ports. And we get all them bookmaya, then genius here, then we'll tell you how then be first now in class, now then first grade. I mean, I even know some of the qualification where then go say you come out from a college with this and that. Well, as far as Australian concerned, I think all the geniuses in West Africa, I didn't bond them. I didn't all go school. The only thing number where they not get, they not sabi perform. They just learn all them book here then and become dormant in thinking. Because the results, they prove them day by day by day, we are always behind. Okay? So this younger thing, we will keep playing with them. It will go to another generation, and another generation, and another generation. Last but not least, I was not aware of the First Lady in participation heads of state visit. But now in common sense, if we own president don't know that in we have not get for participate, we go back to what I say. We want swim against the tide. It won't work, it doesn't work, not a good technique and for swim. There are certain international trend, there are certain international standard that with which we should comply. If we not comply, we go always there last. We're not there last by accident. We there last because of we stubbornness, not for play by the rules and do things accordingly. You know?
Yeah.
So we see it happen, but we're shameless. We're not even what would not come out from grace to grass. Sierra Leone, that was such a great country. We they don't come up from grace to grass. Half of we leaders, they don't understand that, so they don't care. So we will continue that trend. But then we go to the proportional representation. We'll not run out of time because now we don't say that our main issue that one day for the day. That is this proportional representation. Recently, and Ms. Fadima, I'm sure you will get something for add to that. Recently, then say the commissioner, the electoral commissioner, announced to the country, say the president tell and say the election next year will be based on proportional representation, not the constituency-based election it will be. And everybody jump up, then say, first of all, the president don't get the power for dictate or for say what kind of election we will get. Some people claim say the president, the constitution specify that it will not be proportional representation, election based on constituency. Then then you get the leader of the opposition who come up, Mr. Chair Nobah, and voice out your opinion and your objection. Then you get people like Dr. Yumkela, he's an opposition member, we take a different approach by complying with some kind of rule, asking the Speaker of the House to set up a committee and probably call the respective department and will control the commission as to how that come about. Then among that, there have been some good comments then. Professor Kutubu, Kutubu Kuroma, he talk, I listened to in audio make a lot of sense. So I'm not just the type of promotion. But in audio make a lot of sense that Cherry Coco go about it the wrong way and he should know better, particularly with him being a lawyer. I'm not saying the professor is correct. I'm just saying which in analysis makes sense. He challenge the opposition leader, say that's not the way to go about it, and try to remind them the role of parliament, and the limitations on the executive branch of government, that they need to know that. Okay? And then, of course, I listened to an audio of Sylvia Blyden, as much as I can participate for reference, but then say give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. I think she had a very constructive suggestion with respect to the legality of this proportional representation, and she argues and cites some section of the Constitution that I haven't, of the Act, not the Constitution, some section of the Act where say proportional representation, that authority there has been given to the president. So these are the big deal where to go on. So I refer people into them sources there. You can go back and listen to the leader of NGC, and see which the NGC people and which are their own comment. You can go back and listen to Mr. Chair Nobah. You can listen to Sylvia Blyden in audio on this proportional representation. And you can listen to Kutubu Koroma's comment. They all get some very good comments. But what you may understand about the manner in which it was done, somehow, somewhere, the parliamentarians are not doing due diligence. That in the Constitution, it does empower the president for dictate, that the act give the power, not in the Constitution, the parliamentary act where they pass, give the president the power for dictate which kind of election we will get. Now, Professor Kutubu, in your analysis was good, very constructive, but I think one major element that was left out, I keep talking about the role of the courts. If the courts make themselves irrelevant, they will remain irrelevant. And unfortunately, when I put it that way, the court themselves cannot take something where they not bring before them. I understand that. But I'm saying right now we should get public interest law firms. We'll get some lawyer there, and I already talk to them, civil rights lawyers. They should be in the forefront, filing amicus or some kind of legal action. Now the court, forget the court for define whether, first of all, whether Parliament entrust that power there in the hands of the president, that he alone can dictate what type of elections will be held, regardless of the manner in which they did it. Because I understand, say it was a backhanded way, then sneak them into the act, where people will not be know about, where end up now just like the same thing like the census. There was a time when we go back and check and say, well, the president will get the power to do that midterm census because the parliament get that power there. So now something where then there was a period where nobody not raise any objection, it becomes law. So listening to Sylvia Blyden has something to that effect. Nothing was said, so it became law, so President Bill get the power. But that's not the end of it for two reasons. We keep forgetting that we get a constitutional democracy. Parliament is not above the constitution. What any law parliament makes is subject to constitutional review. So parliament cannot just pass any law because in a parliament. They are not absolute. Any law they pass will be within the guidelines of the constitution. So who determines whether parliament stay within the realm of the constitution or whether they go above and beyond? Not the courts. So it goes back to the legal profession. It's time. So like NGC or the one that will get issue with what President Bill say with respect to whether it will be proportional representation. This is the time for NGC or the one and they forget their lawyers at work. Go to court. Get the court for interpret the act that gave the president that power. And if then the major question should be, the parliament have the power to delegate such authority to the president? You know, that's where you get constitutional lawyers for show themselves. You know, these are specialty areas where you get real constitutional scholars then for argument here, not to any kind of lawyer. See, no problem, and we just think so once you're a lawyer, oh, it be clever, and I can't force enough from it. That's not going to do it. You're going to have someone who knows constitutional law. It's like philosophy. Sometimes these lawyers, you'll be amazed how smart and educated they are in that field. Okay? Not to just good English, not to just good grammar, not deep intellectual thought, subject to deep interpretations. So now, if there is confusion about the president, whether he get that power there, and whether in fact Parliament get that power there, the first question would be, does Parliament in fact have the power? Are they in compliance with certain sections of the Constitution? Or is Parliament in violation? We keep forgetting to say Parliament itself is subject to restraint. Not only the president and the executive, Parliament itself cannot go beyond the realm of the Constitution. Now that thing we need to forget our head. So if there is an issue, instead of waiting until it comes to pass, now is when the court should be brought into it. And if we not get constitutional scholars in Australia, we not hire people from abroad for come, for train a good set of constitutional lawyers, for come and coach some people and for argue them cases there. There's nothing wrong with that because we're not reached that level yet. But we all feel say, oh, because we get PhD, because we get Oxford, Harvard, Yale graduate, so we know it all. No, we don't. There's a whole lot we don't know. If we know that much, like I keep saying, you go see her. Like you say, if married was sweet and the bachelor's, if you go, if we educated people and that smart, and you go see the result, there will be a positive result coming from every angle. Everything they put in their pan, it will turn gold. But they are not as smart as they think they are. Because they are under this illusion that because they get degrees, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. They say the taste of the pudding lies in the eating. You can say the pudding look good and everything, but if you taste and the bitter is above for sweet, a terrible pudding you make. You know, they look good on top. You know, so this proportional representation, whether the president get the power, whether the president don't get the power, whether Parliament pass an act to get that power there, whether they sneak them into the legislature itself, the law itself, all of that should be resolved and must be resolved by the third arm of government, whether the judiciary, that has been sitting down almost dormant all this time. They're not to do nothing because nobody is taking these cases there. And also, when the cases go to the court, some cases sit there for years, for which there is no excuse. The Supreme Court of Salone not that busy, and maybe we even need for begin for change with structure, with Supreme Court structure in terms of the appointment of judges, get permanent Supreme Court judges there. So Let me take one call. Then Ms. Fadima probably might get some comments on that. So that will be that will be we're trying to wrap up. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you call from?
Yes, Mr. Shiron. Good evening, or good from my side. This is Fode Mustafa again.
Mr. Fode from England.
Yes. I don't read the arguments within the try for make. But first of all, people in the try for talk say, oh, now the president is right. But we all know the constitution say it get problem and the government no will ever get the intention for take the powers of the president. Let's leave that one. And it come back to the purpose of this PR. Everybody knows say the whole problem here is for the control of parliament. Because you see this year where the parliament you see divided or you get more other people of opposition, they had a hell of a time trying to pass bills. They want to do like during Aneskuruma in period where they get a huge number for pass any kind of bill without any resistance. So this is the bottom line. They want, if they even do this year, so then get overwhelming majority in the parliament where they don't need any other people for pass their bills and their loans. Because mind you, the loans are growing exponentially. And then they face, even they knock out another loan last week, we have 5 million. And we'll answer back the same 5 million, then we don't pass another bill loan, we have 34 million for the same purpose. The same purpose, work now, then go borrow again another 5 million. So this is just what they want. And say they want pass bills them easily. We all know say parliament not get work. Within the president they say, then they pass. They work now for scrutinize the executive, they need to do them now for not table way. So when they say then they can't invite the how they call them the bank governor, where she go they just know the government side. Now for not table, they go. Then it's a lead them say they call them the parliament with all the problems we don't do. We can enact table, now you go back. So we know the parliament don't get much for do. So this all they just want make them even further, for make them more easy, for let them pass laws the way bad, loans the way they put our generations unborn into more trouble. They know they care. See, we have to be engaged right now with the cost of living. Waiting government to do how they save money for helping people. Then they always compare and say, oh, this thing it passed bad like England. So I will pay £150 for my electricity. Now government they give 60 something. Now they pay about 90 something. For a while, the government don't help me for 6 months. So this is what they should be talking about. Instead, they are increasing more people in the communication unit of the president. They not add another man. They don't put directors there for communicate. It's just what they care about. For make sure see, then continue for increased expenditure. Then the income not there. Then they just try for make back more loans agreements. They sign more loans agreements for just compound the problem of Sierra Leone. This is all what is about this PR. This PR not get no way to help people them. PRO, no PRO, the lives of the people is not they're not going to change. So the thing where they change is we are going to be in more financial difficulty. We will get more bad laws them. Anyway, thank you for that. I just want to add this small bit for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. As one of our regular callers, and every time you say something, it adds to with knowledge. So thank you so much for calling. I see the control room with the type of table. We'll just take one call. Any more calls?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can take one more call. Control room the try for wrap it up.
Yeah. I'm in SM.
SM.
I call from Boston.
Okay, SM. Nice hearing from you.
Okay, yeah, I really have to forget about it after a long time. Me own take on this PR system. Honestly, I've been Salone as recent as July. I come back. I always say I get there also the whole problem with Salone gets. Now, the 1991 Constitution, what they use now, biggest problem, our biggest challenge. Except every one of us, including UNA, CSOs, meaningful Sierra Leoneans will come together. Whosoever come in power 2024, before that first year of that term they done, will put up a large peaceful demonstration. Say, we don't waste money per constitution with you. Not go by land constitution because no government, like what is called like us, no government, no go ever endorse that because always in the favor of the president. Because we get 3 arms of government in Sierra Leone. But if you watch the executive arms out of 100%, get 95% share. Now they control the judiciary, now they control the parliament, now then the NAC, now then the GOSO, all that in the day. Okay, you know, so all that in the night above the president in our country day. Except to change that constitution. If we not change that constitution, we not even know where, no matter what we talk, no matter what we discuss, we have to change 1991 constitution because it gives the president so much power in the executive. You know, if in this case you talk to like when Mr. Salone said for the constitution rather than go law, but the judge at the end of for past judgment. They got for loss because once the president and government feeling to say anything. From one people know say president not get right for start vice president, which happened some years by Louis Arnest time. They go to the court for whatever reason because the executive get power over the judiciary. They say no, you get right. So me take na Sierra Leone, I always say fear souls the meaningful Sierra Leone, looking for the top court. How for change 1991 constitution, how for all of us really forget what. Salone make 21st century up to now we live in 17th century. If we one government post are the most powerful sign Africa when at East Nation Juba or Sport Road or Wiki, so you see what if water and light there at place day. Can you imagine 21st century? You know they happen in Ghana. That's why I've been listening to you last Friday. I will always compare when it comes to government, we compare the bad way they happen in other countries. We don't ever compare the good way they happen. I talk to Kenya. Kenya get 30 years blueprint where they work towards, no matter what that kind of power. Now that they work by. We get blueprint as well. No, I don't think so. And one thing I want to make clear, I might be wrong, but the honest truth, why all this APC, this present parliamentary, they are against this PR system? Because they don't need another parliament, they don't pass some laws that were not good for that country. They supported it. You know? The reason why they are against PR system, because most of them, they don't know that will be the new chairman of the party and new secretary. We're going for 10 at the list for parliamentarians, then the PR system. Honestly, the old executive be there, so therefore Gillies, they don't go gumbo. And one argument the way parliamentarians or other people that are against PR they make will be there, will be not even this year. Say, oh, this is not to the people that therefore will choose the parliamentarians. If with the parliamentarians, then how they did now. Ask people whether they are the constituency, they sabi there. They were not choosing by the people, they were still choosing by their political parties. SNB, now, the executive should choose the one give for the parliament. Not the people that they get primaries now. The same thing happened to APC. They did that at the president's lodge. Choose people the way they know they're comfortable with. So that's not me, not the one based argument on any. Your argument is that we will change this constitution. If we not change that, we will forever remain so. Because that they control police not get free hand, like everywhere. You know, that's the honest truth. Thank you.
Oh wow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mr. Essen.
That's a good one. Like I say, this PR system, they make noise right now. And then we don't talk and they tell them they do the elections act in parliament, it come up and then we don't pull and come out there because even I remember when the speaker of the house say you cannot do certain of those things. It's treason if you go against the constitution. But then, like how this last caller say, we careful go back and revisit, because when you give one power to one particular branch of government, which is the executive, we know in Africa and we know in Sierra Leone, it's always the executive. Everything is the executive. If anything, they work something at 2%. One or two people then go get mind we could do the right thing, or then go one for do the right thing for let them look good small, say they don't get control. But everything goes back to the head. Whoever is in power runs the rest of the branches. They don't function, they don't work. And I'm glad the way you mentioned or what people and say, and Dr. Kuna class say, let them go back to the court, let them go back to parliament, let them open the case again. Because we don't argue this case before the parliament. And what you do then they do them. When I remember say they did the census, people are saying they did the census and now they don't make and say the South get more population past Frito. So now, all these kind of play and words with words and playing with the livelihood of the people of Sierra Leone. And that's what they're doing for score points, for score political points. So like how Kutubu said the other day, he said Cheriko cannot need for make the appeal to the president. Cheriko could just go to the committee in the parliament where they with election problem and go say, listen, we cannot have this because of XYZ, let them can go before parliament. And then if parliament, then the courts can come in. But it is not functioning like that. Nobody is doing their job. Nobody is, when you go there, they just do it for formality's sake. And we know who gets the majority in parliament, da 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 da. And the people of Sierra Leone are always on the losing end. That's the sad part. And if we not come up with that day for work for the people, it is always going to be like this, because the leaders that come, they really, 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 deep down in their hearts, deep down in my heart, I don't believe they care about the people. I don't believe they care. Because I may make this statement before. If I am, your problem is my business where they make money. Now your problem, I will never solve your problem because I'm making money. I'm getting rich off your problem. So I will never fix your problem, because if I fix your problem, then my money go cut. I will stop forget money, free money, and waiting and cut. So I will continue for let you live in your problem, making your problem, let your problem get bigger and worse. So I will continue for get rich off your problem. That's what they're doing to the people of Sierra Leone. And we know, and you hear people arguing for the sake of argument, but we therefore go back and fix what's wrong. If we don't fix what's wrong, we kind of always continue this back and go back and revisit the constitution for let them fix them. If they don't fix them, people are in a freedom, because like we don't pull we come on, but the burden of our people they over we get people that family to get people that own family to they help every day for help them for let their life go on. And one of the viewer they write say the term for the war. Now in the Guinea Sojamandem, the Guinea troops deployed during the Sierra Leone war to help protect Guinea from the rebels and to help Sierra Leone to fight the rebels. After the war, the Guinea troops never left that area. And that is coming from Bansana Jabati or something, yeah. Mr. Jabati say that. And one of my beautiful sister, Miss Asi Bangura. Asi Bangura has been a long time viewer of VOS. They say, they notice say with viewership, they go down and a kind of like, what does she say? Let me get her exact words. Because I saw that, I just want to address that a little bit. And since we'll move up, to this time slot, a lot of people end up open their show. A lot of shows do happen at the same time. What will they do with show? You get, I think one of the viewers, we don't make suggestion, let we move show a little up or something or whatever, because the time slot, a lot of people started new shows during this time slot, and so it take away from our viewership. But people come back later and watch. People come back, and sometimes again, Madam Asi, my sister, thank you again for the compliment. I'm looking not my best today, but I'm still. You say I'm looking good. Thank you. I love you for that. But sometimes where we they talk, some other platform them, not to put anybody down. In America we get CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and all the other stuff, and everybody gravitate towards what in the YERE. Sometimes what you YERE, I'm not going to tell you what you are here because my own truth, sometimes to your own belief and your truth. So they go to the side where they tell you what you are here. And I say thank you. I'm humbly saying thank you to continuous viewers that come week after week for support week. We have been here, but everybody get their way, everybody get their style, everybody get things where they go talk about, everybody get things where they don't go talk about. Some of these things, not that you waiting and call, but it's kind of like to me, it's not progressive. It's not helping us go forward. So with my mental status too, I choose to not go into anything and everything. I know say something and they unakiwayeri something them and sometimes will disappoint you now, but at the same time, we dey try for be a balance here, we dey try for do as best as we can. We dey talk about issues and Mr. Shilon is the one choosing the issues now. I'm not. So if when I get anything where Unawale will talk about, if anything, please at the beg una because na this not the voice of Sierra Leone. Una voice matter. Una send them to VOS by the WhatsApp number or something on the platform, and Mr. Shilon go schedule that in because we're here to have conversation, and the conversation what you want to talk about, we're here to bring it to you. So please, I'm very sorry if we disappoint people, but it is just like some of these things that is out there. Sometimes we just choose not to deal with it because it's so toxic, it's so unhealthy, very, very unhealthy. And with the time for say, how we go push go before, how we go better, how we go pass here, how we get to here, how we reach here. We know the young generation, they get their own thing where they do. And we are the old folks, we're trying to understand, we're trying to push forward. You understand? So I'm very sorry if I disappoint anybody. But I mean, I promise you, say we're still going to be here. We're going to try to change. We're going to try to add new things to it. Once I'm 100% myself, we're going to try to add a little bit more flavor to it and make it a little bit more, kind of thing for bring the one that we've been all left, let them come back. So thank you for my sister for bringing up that point. And yeah, and also somebody else talk about the PR system, and I forget to read of them. The PR system was created because where war been there, where the place not been stable, all man be don't go ya, do this. Now them bring them and then think that they can only use them when the country they at some kind of chaos. But we're not in a chaos right now. Why are they bringing it? It's to win elections. We don't see the census result. The census result has shown that, and anybody in the right mind not even believe that those people are more than the people in Freetown. Now the Electoral Commission, they don't do registration. We had a lot of complaints about the registration. Now they don't pull the results yet of waiting the registration say. I mean, so all these people in this little organization and group and administration and then government entities they all not the problem. We don't have no integrity. We don't work for the people. We don't do things for love of country. We do things to please our masters, like the slave used to do also. The ones that are up there, they treat us like how the slave master used to treat we. There's no love shared among us. There's no care for, somebody in life for we try for make this country better for the people they're able. This Salone man, the environment they will create, but the environment is not even conducive in there. Everything is dead. Everything is not working. It's not functioning right. So the people are just there. Then they try. Then they strive every day. Then you get the one day back where they try for rip people up. They strive because we're going to have a lot of crimes, a lot of, people that want a lot of people and because the times are hard. Integrity not there again. We don't have no love. We don't show no respect. We talk to anybody, any kind of way. We don't respect we compete, we not respect we say. So all these things, when the society is unhealthy, we're not gonna thrive, we're not gonna go forward. So that's why we're trying on VOS to try to keep some of those toxic stuff away. Not that we're better, but it's like me brain right now. I'm serious, my sister. But thank you so much. And thank you again. And see, I got me swelling. I don't know if they're gonna show me video after that. I was trying to be youthful. I was trying to raise that little 4-year-old. And oh gosh, they go thank you though, but yeah. But I hope you all have a wonderful week, have a productive week. Go do something beautiful, go do something, make a difference. Sometimes it's not all about money, it's just good words, respect for one another. We get respect for we serve. If you get your wife, respect her. If you get your man, respect him. Sometimes the way we say stuff, somebody can make you vex, but the way you talk him, even if you upset, but the way you talk and go, what's the fire? The way you put on to possibly understand, let's try that. Maybe, not all everybody go there like that, but let's try that because What is life after all? You know, we go there 1 minute, the next minute something happened, boom, you could be gone the next second. So let's share the love. Let's get the spirit of 1961, man. I love you all, and remember, God is love. We say we love God. We get for love. We get for show love. Let's show love. And in the words of Rodney King, can we just all get along? For the sake of peace, but I love you. I'll go beyond beautiful. I'll go beyond you. Work on yourself. If edema is shining, please, 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 not jealous me. Go walk by yon. Tomorrow, the sun go there over you, the cloud go there over me. So let we go walk on ourselves. And always remember, even if there is a cloud in the sky, the sun is still shining behind that cloud. So go shine, go beyond. Go beyond, beautiful. Go beyond. I love you. Fedima, I'm out. Thank you. And come again next week by God in power. Have a
Okay,
wonderful
before we wrap up, I want this one for telling the result of the survey. So we asked about the proportional representation for see if it is good or bad for Sierra Leone. 15% say yes, it's good for the country. 85% say no, proportional representation not good for the country. Just let me repeat, the proportional representation survey we will do. Then the answer is 15% yes, it is good. They will say about 70% or 75% say no, it is bad for the country. So now the outcome or the result of the survey will do. So we always the thank you we look at the surveys in the respond to them. Thank you very, 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 very much. We appreciate it greatly. So as always, it's been a pleasure as usual discussing issues with you now. So until then, next week we will meet again. Take care.